Hey guys, I just wanted to make a quick video. It is going to be a little longer than I thought because I'm going to do the whole entire thing. So I'm going to put this on Edpuzzle and mark it so that you can forward to the pages that you need. We're going to just start out by looking at the first page. The first page, there was nothing major for you to do. You had to take the quiz. Oops, I'm not writing. You had to take the quiz and then you had to fill in the three top choices along with the numbers and then enter text boxes and type in your explanation for these sections. So that was pretty easy. Second part, we're dealing with the math and we were doing dollars per square foot. So you want to do dollars in the numerator and your square footage in the denominator. So for instance, for letter A, we're looking at 719 divided by 738. And when you do that in your calculator, you get 0.974 or 974 thousandths. And you needed to round that to the nearest hundredth. So I am expecting that answer, but there are other answers that I programmed in that if you came out with them based on rounding, like say you put 9.8, then I overrode it and accepted it. So for part B, I'm just going to write these out really quickly. And then for part D, you're doing 735 divided by 675. Okay. Now those numbers represent the dollars or the cost per square foot. Okay. So you're going to enter them here and then you were asked to select the cheapest cost per square footage. And the one with the cheapest cost per square footage was the Cohen complex. So you should have circled that one and used that in the future problem. So you would need to know that their rent is $789. When we get to this third page, we are looking for doing some calculations with your salary. So if you read these text boxes, it tells you that you're using $32,893 as your salary. And then you need to go through that. And we decided that we were going to round this to the nearest whole dollar. So you want to take 32,893 and you're going to divide by 26 because it tells you that you get 26 pays. When you round that to the nearest whole dollar, you're going to get $12.65. But it says, how much will you make in 1 month? And when we talked about this in class, we said that we just want to multiply that by 2 so that you're sure that you've accounted for your checks, but you're not overestimating your checks. So we're going to get $2,530 each month. Would you be able to cover your rent? And we decided based on the last page that rent was $700, I want to say $89. Skipped a page. $789. So if I'm making $2,530, yes, I can afford my rent. The next one, we are looking at this chart here, and it tells us all our costs for the month. And then this question asks us, how much are we spending on electricity and gas? So you're just going to pull the numbers for electricity and gas and add them up. And that will give you $126.54. Now it says you have $1,000 left to cover your rent, electricity, gas, and cable internet. How much money do you have left? So when you do that, you need to figure out the total cost of all of these plus your rent. So we want to add up the chart plus our rent. And when we do that, we get $975.53. And we would subtract that from 1,000. And when we do that, we get $24.47. How much would you spend on cable and internet for 6 months? So you're just isolating this number here, and you do $59.99 times 6. So that would come out to $359.94. How much would you spend on cable and rent for 12 months? So again, your rent is $789 and your cable is $59.99. You're going to take that total and multiply by 12. And when you do that, you would get $10,187.88. And it says, how much would you spend on all 3 utilities and rent in 1 month? So when you do that, you're going to add up your rent and the entire chart, and your answer should be $953. I'm going to apologize because I have a little thing down the bottom and I can't see it, but this little answer here, I can't fill in the blank. It should be $975.53. Now I scheduled this so that it would either accept it with or without dollar symbols. So if you forgot to put dollar symbols, it should not have marked them wrong. But technically we should be including dollar symbols because we are talking about money. But again, if you didn't put them, it should not have done that to you. All right, so now it just gave you an example up here about how to actually write out a check, and it asks you to do that. So you are going to, I really wish I could get rid of this because I cannot get this to, sorry, I can't write at the bottom like where the actual check is. Let me see if I can, nope. I'm going to just try to move this a little so that I can see it. There we go. All right, so when we're doing this one, it asks us to pay to the order of. So we need to write it out to who we are paying, and we want to go back and we want to look at what the company is. So we're going to write this out. We're going to write it to Cohen Complex. Oops, kind of all over the place. And it's for $789. Now, one of the things, you guys, as you're actually learning to write a check, you do want to fill in your cents over 100 because you want to make sure that no one can ever help forge a check. So you want to account for each of your spaces. So you want to account for your hundreds, tens, singles, and your decimal places over 100 so that people know. You always want to date your checks and include the year. And then you want to write the wording out completely. So 789. Then your job is going to be to kind of do like a squiggle to fill in the blanks so that there's no room for anybody to add stuff that you did not approve. That's a 0. And then you want to sign it. And then you could put rent so that they know what it is for. It is good for you to keep a record if you are using checks so that when you go to do your taxes, you can organize your information and make sure that you've accounted for everything. All right, so for the next section, you didn't have to run any of these numbers. This little guy down here was already pre-done for you based on the fact that this was the car we were going to use, and we generated that that was what you were going to owe. So there was literally nothing you had to do here except fill in the definitions, and I was pretty lenient on what you guys could fill in. You could Google anything you wanted. And then I told you that you were going to use $789 for your rent, that you were $1,265 income every 2 weeks, and that this was going to be the monthly payment that you started with. So all of your other numbers should be based on that. So how much would you spend on your car payment and your rent? You're going to actually add up your rent. I'm sorry, that's not your rent. $789 plus your car payment, and then you would end up with $1,155.41. How much money do you have left after you paid your car payment and rent for 1 month? Now, please remember that you're getting $1,265 every 2 weeks, so you're going to get paid 2 times in that month. So you're doing $1,265 times 2, which is going to be your income, minus how much you're going to spend. And I think for most people, if there was a mistake, it was that they just forgot to double the income. So you want to make sure that you account for that. And we would spend $1374.59. Get rid of that little decimal. It's time to buy gas. Your car can hold 13 gallons of gas. They're saying that it's $3.45. You guys can obviously see that prices fluctuate, and we're buying 13 gallons. So when we do that, we're going to end up spending $44.85. You want to buy 2 new seat covers. So we have $19.75 times 2. And then we also have to add on 7% tax. So when we do that, we would end up spending $42.27. If you give the cashier $60 and the bill is $42.27, how much do you get back? So you're going to subtract. Okay. And then you had to add up the mileage combinations for these. So when you did that, this guy here should be $42.475. This one should be $23.065, and then $26.42 for the difference. And how many miles total? We'd be looking at $88.455 because we would add all those up. All right, for the next section, I just pre-populated a shopping list for you. You guys will be able to do one on your own if you choose to, but this is just to make sure you understand the process. So on this page, there was nothing that you needed to do. You just had to deal with these numbers on the next one. So you may have to pop back and forth for this, or maybe split your screen, but I'm going to run through these numbers. So it says, how much money did you spend in all? You're going to total that, and we should end up with $2,449.31. So decimal. How much money did you have left? You were given a budget, and it said that you were given, oops, where's my given? $2,500. That was on the previous page. Sorry about that. So $2,500 is what you were given, and you spent $24.49.31. So you're going to have $50.69 left. Look at the table that we filled out. You want to find the highest priced item and the lowest priced item. What's their difference? So we're looking at the TV and the coffee table. And you're just going to subtract those numbers, and you should end up with $824.00. Round your answer to the nearest dollar. It was already done. You don't have anything else to do. That is already. Oh my gosh, why do I keep putting decimals in the wrong spot? I have such a hard time writing on the screen. What room will have the most expensive family room? You guys get to pick. Since the most expensive item is a TV, you might say the family room, you might say the bedroom, whatever. If you got an extra $500, what would you buy? That's up to you. So these two right here are really your personal opinions. Then it asks you to identify the TV and round that problem or around that item's price to the nearest dollar. So when you do that, you're going to get $900. And then it asks you to find the coffee table, and the coffee table was $79.99. Before I say that out loud, let me nope, $75.99. And it asks you to buy 5 of them. So you're just going to multiply by 5. And when you do that, you should end up with $379.95. Okay, so just a real quick basic taking you through how to get that done. If you have any problems or questions, please don't hesitate to email me or ask me. I hope that this helped. If you had some mistakes on yours that you needed help figuring out, good luck when you take your actual eval today, and I will see you on the other side.